I could probably think of a couple things. Just haven't written them down.
That's
They
what I'm
will
missing.
come to me. They shall come.
I'm just recording now, so whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I'm recording as well. Bro. So you know how I'm always drinking tea?
Yeah.
Basically, I was at Trader Joe's the other day, and this one guy, as I was walking in, this is literally the first thing I heard. He's just like, "So you want me to die?" He's double masked up, like, you know how people who are still afraid of COVID have two masks.
Well, like, you see that in, like, double masking is, like, something you see, like, in hospitals.
Yeah, okay, in a hospital it's fine, but
Yeah.
we're at Trader Joe's.
Is it an older gentleman?
No, he's like maybe 40 max.
Did you ask his political affiliation?
Nah, bro, I almost whipped out my phone. I was just like, I was about to freaking start recording.
World
It would have been funny. But he was saying like, "Oh, you want me to die?" And then the lady, the cashier there was two cashiers working on the same register.
Yeah.
And basically she was saying, this is my living. Like, this is how I make a living, sir. And then I don't know what the context is. And then he's just like, "Oh, so you're trying to kill me now?" And then I was just like, "Yo, this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this happen in real life."
Really?
I only ever see this on TV, quote unquote, on YouTube. It's so weird.
I can
You know?
guess that the context. Excuse me.
And then there was another guy at the register, like helping the chick, and he was just like, "Nobody's going to die, sir." I was like, "Dude, I'm getting out of here.
I can guess.
I'm going to get my
was
tea."
And were the cashiers wearing masks?
I mean, I think so. I didn't really look at them. I was looking at the guy freaking screaming, "Hey, are you trying to kill me here?"
Yeah.
I was like, this guy, and it was a white dude. Of
Well,
course.
It's only gonna be a white dude.
And yeah, and what there's a special name for these white dudes, white
Idiots?
Karens. No. It's just like the male equivalent of a Karen, but like I don't know what the name is for it.
Kevin?
Maybe.
Ken?
What is
No.
What is the male? Let me look it up.
The male version of a Karen.
Yeah. Male equivalent of a Karen. It literally pops up, bro.
Yeah.
Is Ken?
Ken?
Terry? No.
Terry? No. It's gotta be
What?
like an old, annoying name.
Apparently it's Ken? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Nah, like,
Ken seems too.
I think it's just Karen, bro. Like, if it's a male, if
Yeah.
it's a female, it's Karen.
Because I
Bro.
affiliate Ken with Ken doll, which means it's a handsome fella.
Yeah.
So, like, why would you call an annoying man a Ken? Because then you're calling him pretty as well.
Yo, how the heck do I turn my phone off?
Hold down the down volume and the power button and the lock screen button on the sides.
Why isn't it just the power button? That's weird.
It used to be.
Yeah.
Holding down the power button now will bring up Siri.
Siri, which I don't need.
Yeah.
Stop that.
You can
Give me my power.
stop it.
Turn off.
Get some help.
Right?
And
Michael
then
Jordan.
if you hold down those same two buttons, or like if you click them 3 times, that'll be like your emergency, like your
Yeah,
SOS
yeah.
will go off or whatever.
SOS. That's what that guy needed at the store. To be honest,
To be turned
I don't
off.
even know what, dude. I don't even know what he was buying.
Well, probably
Yeah,
nothing. He probably stormed out.
Nah. I think he bought his stuff. I think he still needed his groceries. He was willing to die for those groceries, bro. He was willing to die for them. No worries, dude.
I'm trying to.
And it's funny. It's funny because it's literally a year and a half later, dude.
Cases spiked last December, and then immediately like dropped to like nothing in February, and then went up like barely anything in August, and has been on a steady decline since. So
Yeah. I mean, that could also be attributed to like vaccine
that's just like
rates
the
and whatnot.
average for whatever. But
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
doctors.
We're all doctors here, of course. You want to see my PhD? I actually brought it with me.
Where is it?
It's right here. Oh, actually, wait. Don't. I'm not gonna show this. This has my
Yeah, maybe don't show
information on it.
legal information. I have my PhD right here.
Actually, I don't think this really has any information that could do anything, except
No.
for my freaking address.
Go ahead, show
All
it.
right.
People can send you things.
Right. No, I don't want that. I mean, not like anybody really watches our freaking podcast, but
I got my PhD right here.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I ever got a diploma.
No?
No.
From your
You know, there
high
was
school?
I finished high school, but there was this weird mix-up. So, okay, this is what happened. My high school years were weird. I went to like 3 different high schools in high school. I went to
You were one of those
1
kids.
year. Yeah, I went to 1 year in America, and then literally after 9th grade, I moved. I moved to Hungary. So, I had started going to a Hungarian high school there. Then I went there for 2 years, and what happened there? I feel like I've told this story before.
Keep going. If you did, I'll stop you if it's something you've said on here.
Basically, the high school is a 5-year high school because the first year is for English at that high school. So
The
they learn
whole
English there,
year
and
is all you do is learn English.
I don't know exactly how it works because I didn't take that first year, but I think it was like a main focus on English there. So it would basically be like you had 9 to 13th grade.
13.
Yeah, not 12th grade, but like you go that extra year because you have that extra year for learning the language.
Yeah.
But then you're constantly studying English throughout the whole stay there. Anyways, so when I got there, I had enrolled. So the 10th grade that I was going into was actually 9th grade. And then the 11th grade that I was going into was actually 10th grade. So those 2 years were actually, but don't get me wrong, it was hard because, dude, learning chemistry and math terms and history terms, learning the history of Europe in Hungarian was difficult. Like there was a word, it was society. And I was like, társadalom. I still didn't understand what society was, what it meant, because I was 15, I didn't even know that word in English yet. You know? I was like, what does this mean? What is society? Like what does that entail? So I was like,
You should listen to
I
the
felt
song
extra dumb.
Society by Eddie Vedder and find out.
I felt extra dumb because I had to learn the language, and then also that I had to learn the terms, you know, in school. It's
At
like
least you learned the language of the place you're living at.
yeah,
Most
of course.
people from America don't care to learn any language besides English when they go travel or stay anywhere else.
Well, I mean, I was staying there for a while,
Exactly.
so it's like
So,
stayed
but
there
still-
for 3 years,
but
3 and a
still,
half.
there are some people that don't care enough.
Well, I mean, plus I'm from there, and then, you know, growing up, I knew the language somewhat already, so I wasn't going in completely blind. But my grades definitely dropped a lot because I used to be like an A student. You know, I was a pretty high like, you know, high B A student, and then it dropped down to like C D territory because bruh, this is just extra difícil. So all of that to say, my last year of school, I was actually homeschooled. This is when my hermitry started. This is definitely when I started to just like turn into a hermit. 'Cause I could I could do school on my own time and like in my room. Dude, this was like before everyone was doing Zoom and stuff. Like I didn't have to necessarily zoom in to my classrooms. this was all pre-recorded, so I could just watch it whenever, and I could literally have it on in the background and be playing video games, which is what I did all the time.
And look how the mighty have fallen.
Right, I know, right? It's kind of kind of the same thing I do nowadays too. I watch like informative podcasts or like videos, and I play video games.
Yeah, but
not all the time.
You don't seem to be the multitasking type.
I'm good at multitasking when
Well,
it comes down to certain
apparently
things.
you weren't, because your grades dropped.
That is not why. I had to learn a whole nother language.
And you decided to do two things at once while learning a new language, which doesn't
Oh,
seem
no, no,
probably
no, no.
playing something in
This
English.
no.
While
That was
listening
okay.
To...
When my grades dropped, that was when I was attending the Hungarian high school. But this homeschool was in English. My bad. I didn't say that. This homeschooling was a school in Pensacola, in Florida. So
Okay.
it was all in English. So that was fine. I had like an economics and business class. That was fun. I learned a couple things that I actually I put into use today, or at least I know about. You know, like supply and demand.
Dude,
Come
everybody
on.
knows supply and demand.
Exactly, because I took the class. That's why I know
Explain supply and demand briefly.
it. You know what? We don't need to go into that
We
right now,
don't?
okay? We really don't. That's
Okay.
not interesting.
Okay.
I want to get to the point of why what I was
I'll
what
just
I was trying to
scratch
get
my
at.
head holding my college
Your diploma?
certificate,
So,
and then I'll
so
scratch
okay.
with my associate's degree. I'll put it on.
Anyways, so as I was taking the final test of this homeschooling thing, my mom had sent in all the tests
My
to
mom.
Florida, my mom, to get it graded.
Can't you just get a lot of help
Well,
for your tests?
also yes,
Yes.
but I didn't need it because I was a smart boy, or I am smart boy. So we send it in, and guess what happens?
They lose it.
Yes, exactly. It never gets to them. Somehow,
And
some
you
way.
didn't make copies?
No. So,
Why?
what happened? I don't know. You think I'm thinking of that?
I think your
I
parents
freaking.
or your mother would have thought of that.
Well, she didn't.
To
So,
make copies of important documents,
well, she.
which is a pretty
did not.
common thing.
Anyways, so they lost it. Or not necessarily they lost it, but it got lost in transit.
Well, then you could
So
say
they
they
never
you just don't know
received
who
it.
we're referring to.
They, yeah.
They lost
I mean, I don't know.
Whoever they were, they lost it.
Whoever they were, they lost it. And so I never technically finished that year, like officially.
Why didn't you
but
just retake the test?
I could have just retaken the test, but I didn't. So when I came to America a few years later,
Coming to America.
a few years later, I had actually taken a test to get my GED because I didn't technically have one. And this is a story that I had to pull out of the memory banks because I actually forgot that this had even happened.
Sure.
But yeah, that's
And that's why he became a musician.
that is not why. I've been doing music for like my whole life. That's probably why. So, I actually wanted to talk about the movie that we watched last night
Well, no shit.
because we're getting way off on a tangent,
No,
bro.
we're
Like
fine. I'm watching the time. We're fine. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to what were
Welcome.
we talking about?
Number
Episode 26.
26.
He's gonna say it in Spanish every time
I
now.
am now, ever since I screwed up 20. I'm going to do it every time.
Turns out it's not actually 20.
Well, yeah. 20. 26. Large says.
20.
Yeah.
I think 20 is actually
20 is 20.
okay, but is 20 like an Italian
Yes.
20?
For 20, yes. And then they
Yes,
use
okay.
grande, which is Spanish for large.
Their
There is a
scaling
clip.
system.
Okay, there is a clip of Paul Rudd, and I don't know what movie or show this was in, but it always circulates.
A fun fact about me is I refuse to use their scaling system. I refuse. I'm not going to learn it because I'm just like, hey, can I get a medium coffee? And first of all, I don't even ever go to Starbucks.
I don't know.
The only time I ever go to Starbucks,
I don't care for Starbucks anyway.
I sometimes I order a nitro cold brew or like a blonde coffee, just like a black coffee, cause I like my coffee like I like my women. Okay, black. There's this song by Mindless Self-Indulgence, and there's a line in there where it's just like, I like my coffee black just like my metal. And that line always pops into my head when I say I like my coffee black. Because black coffee's so good, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
A venti coffee.
So this
Let's watch
is from the movie Role Models, and it's exactly what you're talking about.
Yes.
Good morning. Can I take your order?
Can I get a tall chai?
A large black coffee.
A what?
Large black coffee.
Do you mean a venti?
No, I mean a large.
He means a venti. Yeah, the biggest one you got.
Venti is large.
No, venti is 20.
Damn it.
Yeah. Large is large. In fact, tall is large, and grande is Spanish for large. Venti's the only one that doesn't mean large. It's also the only one that's Italian. Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages.
Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages. I feel like I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
Or at least some rendition of it. I feel like I've seen at least some rendition of it.
Yeah, it pops up now and then. Paul Rudd voted this year's sexiest man alive.
Dude, he deserves it.
He's
Paul Rudd
doesn't age.
He's a gem,
Whatever
dude.
deal he's made.
He probably drinks a lot of green tea, bro.
He's got perfect skin.
Dude, that's gonna be me in 20 years.
If Paul Rudd came out with like his own like skin moisturizer,
Everyone would buy
everybody would buy it.
Everyone would buy it. Who else? Oh, Patrick Stewart. He hasn't aged in a bit.
Well, that's because he aged really young and then has just been
Yeah.
that old for that long.
It's
like
he's
Morgan
been growing
Freeman.
in.
Morgan Freeman's been old my entire life.
Morgan Freeman's been old forever, dude.
Yeah. And then, well, Keanu Reeves doesn't really age either.
Oh yeah, Keanu Reeves too.
Yeah.
Frick, dude.
Keanu Reeves doesn't age.
We gotta get their skincare
So
routine.
Jean Vic.
John Wick, bro. I'm gonna start looking like John Wick soon enough, dude. Once I get my hair long enough.
You gotta.
I mean,
his beard isn't that uneven. Like
I mean-
like the amount of length you have on your chin area versus like up on the sides of your cheeks.
yeah,
But that's just because your face or hair doesn't grow the same.
yeah. I mean, once
He's also
once
more white and Pacific Islander than you.
yeah, is
So-
he?
He's Hawaiian. Keanu is Hawaiian.
Oh, you're kind of right.
Yeah. We're probably related in some
Interesting.
way.
Whose first name means cool breeze over the mountains.
Yes.
He was born in Beirut and raised in Toronto.
He's got
Interesting.
an interesting background.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Very diverse background.
Yeah.
Do you know what else was diverse? The cast of colorful characters of Eternals.
It really was. They had all types of people. in that
Every
movie.
character was a different person of
Wow.
diversity.
Wow. Holy moly.
Like,
every character was a different
every
person. I wouldn't have
character-
guessed. I would not have guessed
Well,
that, bro.
Technically, they weren't people.
Oh, yeah?
They were fake synthetic beings.
Yes.
Which this
They were
is my
just-
first gripe I would like to bring up. If they were built to be perfect synthetic beings, why is one of
Then
them deaf?
Yes, that is an issue I had with it, too. Why is one of them deaf, and then one of them has mental issues? And then also, why can they all, like, feel human emotions and stuff like that? Like,
Because
why were they
movies
built
need
like
to
that?
be relatable.
Yeah.
And
But
they
still.
were built to not know that they were not live.
True.
Like they were built with false memories of you're from this planet, you are a living being. You're not a fake synthetic robot.
True. So.
And then otherwise the characters wouldn't be fun to be relatable with.
Yeah.
But like they're all these grand synthetic beings with all these powers, and they're immortal, but
some of the powers kind of sucked.
This was an interesting movie because as someone who has no knowledge of the Eternals
I had no idea.
outside of like Celestials and like Thanos, because he's technically like an Eternal, he's a deviant. Like that's all I knew. So it's like, actually, I should probably look this up. If Justice League or Eternals came first, 1960. So Eternals was 16 years after Justice League. So like, you have Ikaris, Superman. You got the fast one, with literally wearing the same colors as the Flash. You've got is it Phasos? The guy that makes things.
Fastos?
He's
That
got
guy
all
was
like
cool.
he make things. He's got all the gadgets. He's
Like a
Batman.
tinkerer?
He's Batman. He makes gadgets, and he fights with gadgets because he has no real powers.
He was cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
I
He's fun.
liked his power actually a lot.
Who else was
Like
there?
when he had those rings at the end.
Yeah, it was like siphoning Icarus's power to keep him down.
Not even that.
Then there
but
was
just like he was able to
Druid.
freaking.
There was Druid who can control minds like Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. I thought his name was
was-
Druid at first.
No, Druid.
Yeah.
And then there's what was the little younger? I say younger, but they're all-
Sprite?
Sprite was like Illusions, which is also Martian Manhunter.
Yeah. Why was she tiny? Why was she
Because
like
they're
different?
diverse.
I understand that.
That's
but
the answer.
okay.
I also don't know if if those are legit forms of the characters. Based off of what I have heard from all the news, is like they gender bended some of the characters to other genders. So I don't know. Maybe there's explanations in the comics. And then there's Athena, which is just Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And then who else is there? Oh, there's Cersei, which is just Aquaman. Because she turns things into water and she manipulates the elements, which is kind of
that's-
Aquaman-y.
I mean,
Well,
not
because-
entirely.
Yeah, but like that's also kind of she's probably the odd one out because there's more members on that team than there is Justice League. There's the big dude. Not the big dude. What's his name? Gilgamesh. That uses his fists is really strong.
He was cool. I liked him.
Yeah.
He reminded me of myself. Chef.
I was gonna say it's not strong.
I'm strong in different ways.
So not in the ways that Gilgamesh is.
Right.
Just boom. Is that everybody? Yeah, that's everybody.
No,
and
you
then,
forgot the pistol fingers.
Oh yeah. Is it Conga?
Kingo?
Eternals.
I think it was Kingo.
Okay, is it Kingo or Conga? Let's look at it. Kingo,
It
yeah.
was Kingo.
Kingo.
Yeah.
And then Ajax.
Oh yeah,
which is
Ajax as well.
Samhac.
There's so many.
She manipulates minds like Martian Manhunter.
I thought she just heals.
No, because she was like, I could wipe your mind, Athena, because you're having mind freakiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she heals. So they all had a lot of, but you know, the real hero of the story,
Is?
Karun.
Who's Karun?
Oh,
Karun, the dude.
Kingo's valet,
Yeah.
with the camera. He's my favorite of the movie.
He was funny,
It's
dude.
perfect. How many cameras did you bring? And they all got consecutively
keep-
smaller.
Yeah, just keep pulling them out.
Yeah. And then
Dude.
Kingo like does the one where he shoots the deviant in the head, like, and he slides below it, and he's like,
Did you get that on
"Did
camera?
you get?" He's like, "Yes, I did, sir."
Yes, I got it.
Yes.
Dude, that was funny, man. That
He
guy
had, like,
was.
the best line in the movie when he's like saying goodbye to all of them, and like he's
Mhm.
giving like the little thank you speech. I was like, oh, that's like
Yeah.
probably the most heartfelt and touching moment in this entire movie.
Yeah,
Because
definitely
every
was.
other character wasn't really reachable.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
was the only real.
Well, then again, he's the only human, so
Yeah,
it could just be the fact that they were all being directed to act not so like
yeah,
relatable or humanistic.
yeah. True.
Because like a lot of the
True.
times I'm like, dude, Ikaris has like no care for anything.
Dude, Ikaris was. I don't know. He was kind of
Ikaris
like a
was
robot.
like a little monotony and just like, like he just didn't. But then again, they show it at the end and like, oh, he's the evil one because nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
So the one that
Okay,
shows up
what-
out of
what-
nowhere, knowing about everything that's going on, is totally not the evil one. When there's a movie that has been advertised to have not really a villain.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, this movie was weird. There was no real villain
I
when
mean,
you think about it.
yeah. It was kind of like an anti-hero kind of vibe.
Yeah, because like, is it Ashmir? Like the big
Uh,
celestial that they serve?
Yeah.
Like-
What was it? What, Aramesh?
Aramish.
Aramesh?
Aramish.
I think it was Aramesh. Yeah.
Aramish. Well, him.
Yeah.
It. Whatever, I don't know.
The big
The
celestial
big red
being
one.
in the.
The big red one.
Yeah.
That created everything, including them. Eternals.
So is he like the first celestial or what?
Yes, I think so. Based off of the thing at the beginning.
Okay.
So like he
So
was
he
the first
doesn't die.
celestial, and then he gave birth to the universe.
Wait. So why does he need more celestials? Like.
No, because celestials can create worlds and galaxies.
Okay.
So what
But
he
there's-
was doing
There's already so many.
was creating life. Is like they didn't really explain like what his purpose was or how he
Yeah.
came to be.
Mm-hmm.
So like if he was like the being, like the first being was his like mission or whatever when he became sentient of some kind, was just to create life.
Mm-hmm.
So is he just constantly creating galaxies, and to do that he creates other celestials so it can multiply faster.
Yeah.
So like his whole thing is like sacrifice the few for an infinite
many.
number of many.
Right. Right.
Which
right.
I mean, if you think about it from his standpoint of the most powerful being, because he is the one that created everything, you think, yeah, that doesn't seem that
But-
bad.
But at what point is it like, okay, we have all these
It's
worlds,
like
but
we have
we
enough.
keep destroying them.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we keep destroying
Well,
the only life that we have, right?
It was like a farming process.
Yeah.
It's like this.
I mean,
is-
so it wasn't
this
immediate,
is-
obviously,
No,
but-
it wasn't a recent thing. Like he was still farming to create many celestials. So at one point they can just do it on their own.
Okay, so at one point the process will be like complete.
I'm not sure because I know nothing of these characters.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand it from the point of view of the Eternals, which is like, especially with their mind wipe thing. It's like, this is all we know. Why would we let it be destroyed? Blah 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 blah. It was a pretty typical script. A
Yeah,
memory loss.
I mean,
it was a pretty typical memory loss script.
dude, there was a lot of stuff in there that was just like, what is happening?
This movie was very dense.
There was a lot being thrown at
There
us.
was when you have like 8 characters that you've never seen before,
Yeah.
with powers that are completely new,
Different from one another.
completely new to Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, besides like Gilgamesh, brute strength, Great. We can understand that.
I mean, Thena's, you can understand.
Thena, she's a warrior. Someone who can fly, that's pretty average. Laser beams, I don't think we've had that yet in Marvel. Like
Not
actual
Marvel.
eye lasers, like we've had Iron Man stuff.
Yeah. Super speed?
Super speed, Quicksilver, we've had that.
Yeah.
Even though he died in the movie that he was debuted in.
Rest in peace.
And then there's like shape shifting and like illusions. That's
Doctor Strange.
It's Doctor Strange and like Loki.
Yeah.
So like people understand that. But I think it's because those people weren't those characters, but had similar powers. It's like, okay, what are they trying to do here to make them different?
You know what? You know what stuck out to me is after all those years, how come they didn't develop enough emotional intelligence to not like fight with each other? Like they
Because
should have.
otherwise the movie would have been boring.
Yes, true. I was thinking of that as well. As if everything went like according to plan and everything was like, easy breezy.
There are reasons in movies that if you're like, wait, why didn't they just do this? And then if you think about it, you went, oh, the movie would have been over in 5 minutes. Or, I would not have cared to watch this movie.
Right.
There
If you
needs to
think
be something
logically,
to latch onto, yes.
if you think logically, it's not gonna make things better.
But like you could
Because-
ask that about every movie ever. You could always nitpick like, okay, why didn't you just do this one thing? Like look at horror films. Why didn't you just run outside and get in your damn car? Why'd you have to trip?
Yeah.
There's nothing on the floor. Because
And
otherwise
I
the movie
think-
would have ended.
I think that's a result of me, like, one, thinking logically all the time,
Yeah.
but also just being next to you is having this mindset of like trying to pick apart the movie I can have points to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, dude, in the beginning,
Hey, wow, the first thing that the movie says.
bro, it's like, that clip where it's like in the beginning, it's
Yeah.
like this African dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's whenever I hear the phrase "in the beginning," I think of that clip. Oh my gosh!
Checks out.
But then also, frick, I lost my train of thought.
Catch
In
it
the
up.
Put like a cog over my head, being like spinning, just like.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. No thanks.
No, I know you're not going to. I wasn't expecting.
What were you saying?
What were we talking about? Whoa! Roll the credits.
That's why I said saying, because I know you do that. You were talking
Oh,
about
in the
things that you
beginning.
did in the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah.
So when they come to the planet, come to Earth at first, and then like they're fighting the deviants, like you were saying yesterday, dude. When they were hitting it,
you
it
brought
didn't
this
sound
up.
like anything.
You brought this
I
up.
brought this up, but you also like kind of confirmed it.
I tried to explain it in movie
Yeah.
logic.
When they were hitting the deviants, it didn't feel like impactful. It didn't feel like they were hitting it. I was just like, yo, where's the sound design
A lot
on
of
this?
the fighting in this, like, they didn't look like
It didn't
they were
feel like it
really
was-
hitting hard. They were really trying. But then again, it could be, they're so strong, they barely have to lift a finger, like Superman. He could flick and you'd fly across half the earth or whatever.
I don't know. Some of the scenes felt like the sound on some of the effects was just like toned down. I was like, yo,
This
where's
okay. That's what I'll say. The speakers in that theater were not that amazing.
that could also have been it. That
'Cause
could
a
also
lot
have
of
been
that
it.
sound just felt like it was coming from the front.
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything really on the sides. Like
that's what I was thinking too.
That's why I don't go to those theaters. Because they don't. They have. Yeah, we went for those. Not us. We went with a group of people who wanted to go to the comfy AMCs with the lovely, nice, comfy seats. And I said, fine. This is a movie I don't really have a huge interest in anyway.
Yeah,
Or like I'm not waiting for this movie the whole year or whatever. So it's like, sure, I just want to see the movie. But these theaters put all their money into their comfy recliners and
And
the
not
seat
into their
heaters
speakers.
and not into their speakers. So it's like that could be the problem, or it could just be an actual mixing problem that they have for the movie.
yeah.
So I wouldn't rule out that it was the speakers.
Yeah, it could have been that. But also, like you were saying, they. What was the reason you gave?
They're
You
fighting
explain
nothing.
it better.
They're fighting nothing. It's because that movie is obviously heavy CG
Oh yeah.
because it's Marvel and everything's heavy CG. But like the actors, like doesn't Doctor Strange is they're not holding anything. They're doing all these hand movements and there's nothing in their hands. They don't
Just
fight
a whole
with,
bunch of ninja jutsus.
especially with like, with the stuff that like they use, it morphs and it like comes out of nowhere and it can change shape at any moment. So it's like they can't hold one object, throw it down and pick up another object for like the filming side of it.
Right.
So it's like they're sitting there holding nothing in their hands, swiping at nothing. So obviously they're not going to have real impacts because they're not actually hit anything. They're swiping through air. So they have to like fake stop and hit.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
they can't match the intensity because there's nothing fighting against them or to even hit off of.
Yeah.
And that whole fight at the
Yeah.
end was a CG rubber fest of
Oh yeah.
a whole bunch of just bendy and like things that just weren't interacting with like physics. It's weird to say physics with a superhero movie, but
Yeah.
it's like
Dude, that whole
just
scene at the end
the physics of motion didn't
when
really
Makkari
seem
was like running around,
running around, yeah.
and then you're like, oh, the Flash, and then and then you mentioned the freaking
the wind things.
the wind thing. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that clip is so funny, dude.
I
and
like
then
the way
Supergirl
that they
just-
did like Makkari's movements.
Yeah,
Like
I liked it.
It seemed very vertigo-y. Like
It-
the screen was like bending to when she moved.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just like she moved and she moved with the screen or whatever. It's like everything like bended. Like it was almost like because she was moving so fast, like it messed with everything. I don't know. Or like it was from
Yeah.
her perspective. It was different from like what they do with the Flash.
Yeah,
And like
it was
in, like,
cool too.
Snyder cut, it's different. So
I like when-
the difference.
I like that cut when she was like punching him, but like coming in from all these different angles, like
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was like the scene in Snyder Cut where all the debris is falling, and you see the Flash and hit all the debris away.
Yeah,
Zack Snyder is the blueprint, guys.
yeah,
Because I
The
think
blueprint.
Chloe Zhao literally cited Henry Cavill's Superman as an inspiration for Ikaris
oh,
and how
100%,
he
dude.
flies and like how the lasers work in his eyes and all that. So it's very
Yeah.
very prevalent. So I'm glad she actually said it.
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
otherwise,
there's no
everybody would.
there's
have
no way
been like-
around it.
No, there's not. Because if you don't say it, people are going to tear you apart because it's a very obvious poll.
Of course.
And if you do, people are going to be like, yeah, because you can't come up with anything yourself. It's like, come on. It works. There's a reason it works. So use it.
Dude, okay, and also another funny thing about Ikaris is I literally started writing a song like maybe a week ago or 2 weeks called Ikaris. And as I was watching this, I was like, at some point he's going to fly into the
Oh,
sun.
absolutely.
And yeah, and it happened.
Yeah.
I
He
was-
ain't- he's
I don't
not,
know.
He's not dead, though.
Probably. I mean,
It's like all these, it's like the characters in these movies, it's like, oh, they're dead. And I go, oh, no. Okay, move on.
bro, you know what didn't make sense is like, why did they have to kill my boy? You know,
Your boy,
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh. Because he was the most likable character.
He kind of was.
He
though.
was. So they're like, you know what? Let's kill the down to earth guy. He makes pies. He takes care of her. He takes care of
He
Fina.
makes-
He makes pie.
He makes freaking mead out of his own spit.
Well, which I
like-
mean, that's like what people did though, because they're
Yeah.
living out in the middle of nowhere. So it's like, let's kill the most down to
Where did-
earth.
where did he get his food and water from? He was out in the middle of a desert. Did he go into town or something
Maybe they had
to
a
go get it?
farm somewhere or the
Who
garden.
knows? Who knows?
Freaking Kingo. I love your gardener.
I know that was. Oh my gosh, man!
Dude, he was like one of the other best parts of the movie too.
Kumail's always funny though.
Yeah. Dude, he got in sick shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, before this, he got into the shape for this movie. Like, him on, like, Silicon Valley,
Mm-hmm.
like, he's not anywhere near, like, where he is now. But because he got in shape for the movie. Like,
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember Caleb was like, he's so ripped. But, like,
What other stuff is he in?
let's look.
Let's
I
find
like how
out.
when you just look him up now, it's just all
It's
the
just a bunch
shirtless-
of
it's
his
just a-
pictures,
it's
yeah.
a bunch of shirtless pictures that he's posted.
Yep.
Let's go to his
That's
IMDb.
funny. Shadow Warrior 3.
I like that Bollywood section. It was funny.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense.
Yeah. And I like that it was like it was a Bollywood scene, but it wasn't like a Bollywood scene that just pops out of like nowhere like Bollywood scenes do. Because like Bollywood is kind of like a musical.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
they just break out into dance. But in this, it was
Yeah.
like they were filming a movie. So like, okay, I liked how they didn't just break out in song and dance in the middle of the movie,
Yeah.
which made a little bit more sense. Oh yeah, he's gonna be in the new Obi-Wan Disney Plus show.
Oh, sick.
I don't know who he's playing though. I don't think they've released all that yet. Yeah, they haven't said. Ugh.
I like the suits in Eternals though.
Yeah, they were cool, but
I like the gold like
the
shiny.
inlays and all that, like
Yeah.
the lining.
But also the like the little magic symbols and stuff that would pop off of them, like towards the end where they had the Unimind,
Unimind
which
thing.
is a terrible name
I mean,
for
they make
it.
fun of it
Yeah, they do.
because Fastos is like, I created it. I get to name it.
Yeah. It's like
But,
it's a bad name.
Yeah. Whatever. The characters and the acting of all of these characters, I think, were great.
You think so?
I think most of them were great. Yes.
You didn't
Like-
think Ikaris was kind of
Well, I think Ikaris is that way because he's like somber and he's like guilty the whole movie. So like he's not going to show much emotion,
yeah.
which is a crappy excuse to have a likable character because they talk about him in the movie like he has all this charisma and like he's the leader, he's charismatic,
Yeah.
everybody loves him. But I'm like,
People call him boss.
yeah,
you
but it's
know?
like
Dude, you know what was crazy?
I
is
like
when he was just
Gilgamesh more.
when he was just like, "Oh, I'll be with you to the end, no matter what," or whatever he was saying,
Yeah.
and it's just like how those were his exact words.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro,
That's it.
what
That is a very, I would say that is a kind of a cheap way to trigger him.
Mm-hmm.
Because the likelihood that he would say the exact same phrase to him that he said to Ajax is very slim. But then again, you could be like, oh, they're all
It might just be a phrase that they
they're all
use.
celestial beings and they were created, so the likelihood of them saying similar phrases is because they were all created by the same person, or it's because an actual phrase that they say to each
They
other.
might have used. You know,
Yeah.
it's just like regardless of all the battles they've been through.
Yeah.
You know, and also, why did they split up? Like, why did they need to split up?
Because
You know?
movie. Because movie.
Because movie.
movie. Otherwise, if
'Cause
they were
movie.
all together,
True.
Ikaris would have never been able to kill Ajax.
Mm-hmm.
They would have all been together and would have all decided to follow Ajax and stopping the emergence.
True.
And the movie would have been 30 minutes because over half of that movie is them just going and getting everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a really
True.
weird movie to watch after just watching the movie Seven Samurai,
Mm-hmm.
released in 1954 by Akira Kurosawa, which is pretty much the blueprint for the Assemble the Team movie.
Mm-hmm.
The first hour it's a 3.5 hour movie. The first hour is assembling the team. The next hour is them preparing for war. Or like the next 30 minutes is them preparing for war. And the last hour is just war. Pretty
Yeah.
much. So it's like when you spend about almost 2 hours of your 2.5 hour movie still assembling your team, I really feel like this movie would have benefited from being split into two or its own trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, give me time to care enough about Gilgamesh that he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Give me time to fall in love with Ikaris so that his betrayal hurts.
It's much more impactful.
Yes. And that Salma Hayek has actual screen time that's not in flashbacks.
Yeah.
And like build up a proper villain.
Yeah.
Like the deviant that evolves because he sucks their powers.
That was weird, dude.
He like comes out of nowhere. He's like, I can speak and I am hurt and angry.
It's so weird. Like, why was he able to like evolve into this humanoid?
Because he was
creature?
sucking the life. Like he was sucking their power. Like remember when they made the Unimind? They were sending all their power to one person.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that power somehow could evolve the deviants because they were a lesser form of Eternals since they were first, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, something like that. It was weird because it's like, this is like he was gonna be, because he's in the beginning when he's still like the animalish form, and then he comes back. It's like, this is gonna be the deviant leader, but he's still gonna be kind of animalistic. He's gonna be the predatorial side of like the villain, because our villain, they're painting the villain as Ikaris, who is like stoic, sophisticated, and strong, and then you have the other side of another villain, which is like the ravaging animal, which is like, that deviant, so he'll just keep coming back, and then someone will have a showdown with him. But instead they decide to evolve him, get Bill Skarsgård to voice him, and then he has like 4 lines, and then he doesn't really have a fight. He fights.
I think they could have done without him.
He fights. If he wasn't in there, the movie wouldn't have changed at all.
No.
Like, the outcome would not have changed. They would have just had a few lesser fight scenes.
Yeah.
Like Thena would not have had her big moment to snap out of her mind thing and cut him up.
Yeah. She needed that little that neck suck, you know.
Yeah. Just
she
a little
needed
bit
that.
of a
little bit of a
maybe he sucked out the mind problem thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. But like,
that's crazy.
I think he could have been built up as a villain, like introduced, like, he evolves, and then you see him fighting at the end, but he gets away.
You know,
and he comes back in a second one, and then they kill him in that one, and then in the third one, they tackle Ikaris. And in this one, they just stop the Celestial from emerging, and that's the villain against all the other deviants.
Maybe.
Like, I think this movie struggles in its time constraint.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in with the length of the movie.
No, as in, like, it would have been better if it was either longer or split into multiple.
Yeah, they had to fit a lot of story into just this one movie.
It was a very dense story with pretty much all new characters and all new ideas. Like, Celestials, never mentioned before in Marvel, besides, like, passing and, like, seen and, like, little vision, like, backstory things here and there. Like, Celestials once wielded Infinity Stones.
Oh, did they?
That's because they created them, too.
Oh, really?
Well, they created everything.
Oh, yeah. Big facts.
Skirmish, or I don't know. I keep wanting to say Skirmish, but that's not his name.
I think it's Aramis.
Aramis, yeah. He is seen, I believe, in
100%.
Guardians of the Galaxy holding one of the Infinity Stones, and he destroys a world with it. Or like a Celestial that looks similar, which they all pretty much look similar.
Yeah.
So, like, Celestials are out there. There's ideas of them. But it's like, is Nowhere a Celestial? The Nowhere Head? Let me look.
No, I think that's like that's something else.
Let me make sure. It's a severed head of an ancient Celestial. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
really?
It's a Celestial. It just doesn't have the same look as him. Yeah. I thought it was a Celestial head because it's just out in space. because that's where they are. They're just out in deep space or something.
Yeah.
Which is probably where Ikaris is going. Back to his master. Because he still was contemplating things. Who knows? But, you know.
Yeah, it looked different.
Yeah, a little different kind of a head. More like a skull.
Mhm. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's Chloe Zhao, so the movie was beautiful.
The movie was beautiful.
She's an Academy Award-winning director, which you could say doesn't say much, which, I mean, it kind of doesn't because...
everyone is nowadays?
Because just because you've won an Academy Award doesn't mean you can still make great movies.
Mm-hmm.
You've proved yourself to make a good movie of that kind. Making a Marvel movie or making a superhero film is very different. So
yeah,
I think she did good for a first time making a movie like this, based off of what I know of her career. Her direction for how dense of a story she was telling was I enjoyed. Like, I could understand why she made the choices she did based off of the time constraints. And the movie's already 2.5 hours. It's like they can't.
Was it 2.5 hours?
2.5 hours. They're not going to push much longer. So it's like, I'm sure there was a lot that was cut that would probably help the story. But then again, it's like the studios don't want these movies to be so long. So
yeah.
But the music caught me off guard a little bit. Do I?
I have a couple points that I did want to mention
Please
as well.
Point them out.
Yes. So, I thought it was interesting how they had the characters from Game of Thrones. You know, they had I don't know their actual names, but Robb Stark, what's his freaking name? The Ikaris guy.
Ikaris, yeah.
And then Jon Snow, Kit Harington.
Kit Harington. Yep.
What's freaking Ikaris's name?
I couldn't tell you.
Richard Madden. Yep. That's his name.
Yeah. But it's
Anyway,
more than just them two, right? There's others that were also from Game of Thrones. No?
I don't think so.
I thought there were a few people.
I think it's just them two.
Okay.
Anyways, so then also, Cersei is a character from Game of Thrones.
Is a name from
Game of Thrones.
But that's because their names were all like the different legends and mythoses of the world, and that's just because, it was them. They've been around for so long. It was them.
It was them, yeah,
So.
and that's why they wrote the myths about them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I thought that was
part
interesting.
Cool. Like their connection to history.
Yeah.
I still don't care for their reason. Why didn't you fight Thanos or any other war? Because we were instructed not to.
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap.
All right, whatever. I know you need an excuse because these characters never existed in your mind of being in a Marvel movie before this moment. So obviously you need an excuse for why these super powerful beings didn't help. So sure, why not?
Sure.
And now you get Harry Styles joining, who completely looked like that was shot on a green screen and he was by himself. I don't know. It looked, I don't know. He didn't look...
Someone after the movie was just like, oh, did he buy himself into this movie?
I don't know why he was in this movie.
I don't know either.
I get it. Yeah, he's Starfox or whatever, but... And he's an Eternal. He's the Prince of Titan or blah, blah, blah. For Starfox.
The blade at the end? The cursed blade?
I am happy about that. I am looking forward to that. And like that.
I didn't understand that.
Okay.
It's just like, what kind of Lord of the Rings type bead is this?
I am getting a lovely glare on my face. Hold on. There we go. I should have done that a long time ago. Okay. So Kit Harington.
Yeah.
Plays the Black Knight.
Okay.
That's who he will become. And that is what that sword is. From what I understand, so like you were talking about, like my ancestry is like blah 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 blah. Like there's problems with my ancestry. I need to tell you about it before they disappear at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like the sword is pretty much cursed.
Yeah.
And it imbues it imbues that family line with specific abilities and blah 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 blah. Ooh. But the idea is that the more the person uses the sword, the more corrupted they become. So he's kind of like a anti-hero kind of thing. So it's like the sword corrupts its user the more they kill with it. That's why he said that little phrase. I can't remember what it was.
I don't know.
I want to look it up.
It's death is the only option or something. I don't even know what it was.
Black Knight phrase. Marvel. Death is my reward.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Iconic Marvel sword.
It looked dope.
What's the blade called? There's a name for the blade. They say it in the movie. When Athena is like messing with, like practicing, and Sprite is like, "Is that this blade?" She's like, "No, it's Excalibur or whatever." What's the name of the sword? The ebony blade.
Ebony?
Ebony.
Ebony.
Like ebony.
Ebony.
Ebony and ivory.
Oh, ebony.
Is afflicted with a blood curse due to its checkered history, which brings out the darkest urges in all of its wielders.
You know, Ebony is actually what I named my first cat.
That's cool.
And I totally forgot about that. Because I used to call her Ebby.
Interesting.
Because she had like an ebony look to her.
Yeah, so it imbues the holder with an unquenchable bloodlust the more they use it. And it has several abilities. It's indestructible and can cut through any obstacle, whether physical or magical. The original wielder was alongside King Arthur, protecting England.
Makes sense.
From invasions. With a curse. The curse takes the form of a bloodlust. Yes, I just read that. May have several driven to kill endless sways of enemies by the sword's whispers. Tasked with providing endless death in an attempt to state the most cursed of weapons. So it's like they have to feed it.
Yeah. Didn't they mention one time in the movie about like Noah and the Great Flood?
Yeah, they're like, can we get everybody off Earth? Can we get people off the Earth? And they're like, what are we going to take 2 of each?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, in this universe, how does God play into any of this?
Well, it's the same way that DC, they literally mention Batman and Superman in this movie.
Did they?
Yeah. Remember the kid is like, "You're Superman. I've seen you on screen with lasers and
I
a
remember
cape."
that.
And he's like, "I don't wear a cape." They mentioned Batman offhand. I think I heard them mention Batman offhand. I can't remember where in the movie though. It was early on. They mentioned Batman offhand, but it's like they're just stories.
Huh.
It's
interesting.
Like you could write down a Bible for Celestials, and you can be like, "Here you go, worship this." It's just like other religions.
Yeah, a lot of it was
talking about religions because they've been around for so long, or they could have just interacted with these people. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's like they're just treating religions as still religions, but they're just saying because of the way that the universe works is the religions aren't real, or they're not the center point.
Right.
That they're thought of as humans because these people know the actual center point is Celestials.
Yeah.
Or something to that extent.
Yeah, a lot of it reminded me of like the Bible and stuff like that. And then
it's a story about, when you think about it, it's a very similar type of people, like these gods pretty much that were worshipped throughout centuries.
Yeah. And then there was this quote at the end. It's just like, "And the truth will set them free." or something like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, amen.
Yeah.
'Cause
What's her name said it? Makkari.
yeah.
Or I shouldn't say said it, signed it.
Yeah.
But the voice, I think we can finish up with this.
She looked good though.
She was good. I loved her role. I loved her character, but it's just like the back of my mind the whole time was like, she's a celestial being that was created like for perfection and imbued with all this ability, but she's deaf.
Yeah.
Unless the idea was when he was creating the Eternals is like each Eternal is a different version of humanity, or different diverse version of humanity, so that when they go down and protect the humans, they see themselves.
Could be.
Something of that manner.
But also, they don't just visit humanoid planets. Or not humanoid, but like planets with humans
They
on
were
it.
tasked to protect Earth, so they could be slightly changed for other planets.
They were tasked to protect Earth. So are they changed each time then?
Well, their memories are changed, but their appearances could be slightly changed as well for wherever they're being protective of.
You think so?
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm assuming, or I'm thinking out
I mean,
loud
it would
of
make
reasons to
it would
why
make
they
sense.
had such a diverse cast.
It would make
otherwise
sense.
for having a diverse cast.
Because they showed other worlds with
Yes.
like the deviants, and then like there were creatures there on that
they
world
were
too.
different humanoids. Yeah.
Yeah. So is there Eternals? Are their appearances being changed each time they get like renewed into for a different world?
Maybe.
You know.
They don't
Or
specifically state it. They just show clones of themselves. But then again, that's how you reveal to that person that they are not.
Yeah, they're created.
They're
Like
created. If you show a whole bunch of different versions of themselves, they're not going to think of the same thing. It's
They're
like,
not gonna-
oh,
yeah.
that's not me. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? But
Yeah.
you didn't. The voice. We can finish with this because we're trickling.
voice.
We're trickling on time. The voice when he goes to touch the blade.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how they did that blade too. Like when he got his finger close, it was like almost
Yeah,
like
it was kinda
whatever
like-
the metallic
like a
bit of
venom.
it or whatever. Like it was a liquid
Kind of like a
on
venom.
it.
Kind of like
Yeah, it was like trickling towards his finger. Like it knew. Like the moment he touches
Mm-hmm.
it, he'll be imbued with the curse, probably of something
Mhm.
of that nature. But the voice
I
was.
would have touched it.
Well,
I would have
he's
touched
gonna
it.
touch it eventually because he's gonna need his own
I touched the
little-
butt.
little movie there, a little appearance. But the voice was Mahershala Ali as Blade, his first appearance of Blade.
Yeah. Wait. Is that the voice of the sword?
No,
Oh, okay. I was just like, what?
no,
I was like, there's no
No.
way. What are you saying?
no. But Blade, mostly known as Wesley Snipes with the 3 Blade movies.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure if the Black Knight and Blade have any connections, though.
Wait, so what was Blade's significance?
That's what I'm trying to find out. Because like, I'm not sure how Blade is connected to Black Knight. The Ebony Blade, the characteristics the characteristics of the Ebony Blade are not dissimilar to some degree of vampirism because of the lust for blood.
Yeah.
And we think that is an interesting kind of thing to play with, so we kind of knew that was on the table when referring to Blade. Because Blade is a vampire and a vampire killer. He's a daywalker.
Yeah.
He's a daywalker. So,
He's part of Marvel, though? That's
yeah,
kinda...
Blade is Marvel, man.
Really?
Yeah. So the new Blade is Mahershala Ali, which I think is the perfect casting.
100%.
And Wesley Snipes is like giving his thumbs up to it too, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
But that's a good point because the Blade does imbue his wielder with a lust for blood. So, which is a
Heck
very
yeah.
easy connection to vampires. So that's a good way
Yeah.
to bring Blade into it.
Interesting.
So that'll be I'm excited for Blade.
Yeah.
I'm at this moment I could care less for an Eternal sequel.
No, yeah.
Which
More
I think
Blade,
I think the
please.
director and the producer have said we don't need an Eternal sequel.
No.
You don't. You can do spin-offs.
Yeah.
Like Black Knight or like other things or like have them show up in other places. But like I don't think they need their own movie. Their
Yeah.
own sequel. Especially, they didn't really set up for a sequel. Like, they set up Starfox and
Yeah.
Harry Styles. That could be a spin-off thing.
Yeah.
And they could show up in that. And then Black Knight. That's really its own thing. He has no business with the Eternals
Yeah.
in that nature, as far as I know. But final thoughts, and then we'll give the people a tip of the hat goodbye.
Final thoughts. I thought the movie was low-key mid. Like,
I
I
agree.
thought it was just okay.
Marvel movies have been just okay recently.
It was just okay.
Then again,
for
the
me.
last Marvel movie was what, Black Widow?
Bro, Black Widow.
Black Widow was bad. This was average.
This was average. This was mid.
Hopefully they're going up. Black Widow was
Yeah.
bad. This was average, and Spider-Man will be good.
Yeah. Like, it
Because
was
their
a beautiful
track
movie.
record after Endgame has not been super hot for me.
Yeah.
So
It was a beautiful movie. Don't get
Yes.
me wrong.
it has,
But
yes,
it had its faults.
it
you
has
know?
its faults that I think a lot of Marvel movies have its faults for, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I'd still go watch the Marvel TV shows that have been going on. Hawkeye comes out at the end of this month. He's got his own show. He's training his
Who's going to watch that?
me because it's got Haley Stanfield.
Oh, my gosh.
So I'm going to watch
Okay.
that for sure. And it actually looks good.
Okay.
Um,
Maybe I'll watch an episode. I still have yet to see Loki yet.
or
can
any
watch
of
that
the
too.
other ones.
Or any of the other ones.
Yeah.
What are the other ones?
WandaVision and
Oh, yeah.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
Mm.
which is
Bro,
how
that's
the
so
Falcon
much.
becomes the new Captain America.
That's so many things to
It's
watch.
not because they're only like 6 episodes each. They're short.
Okay.
They're like 45-minute, hour-long, high-budget episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not
All
much
right,
to get
bet.
through. Yeah. And then we got the Book of Boba Fett at the end of the month in December-ish, which would be
That's
good.
crazy.
Yeah.
Boba Fett's sick.
Fun. Disney's pumping out good shows, and pretty okay movies.
Nice.
I think they put all their focus onto their shows recently, which is probably why their movies have been lacking.
Probably.
But to none the wiser, until No Way Home, will I really care about a Marvel movie
Yes.
this year? So
Next month.
next month on the 22nd, same day as The Matrix, and a whole bunch of other movies come out on the 22nd, which is gonna suck for those other movies because everybody's gonna be
Yep.
going to see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
until then,
This has been episode 26 of what were we
26.
talking about. Yep. We've been talking about a lot of stuff.
we
It's been
have
26 episodes.
we have,
Crazy.
and we haven't repeated a single thought, right?
I mean, surely we have at some point.
Exactly. We have. For the audio listeners, I made a face into the camera. But come back next week to see more faces from our cameras. And we will see you then. Thank you for watching.
will.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Ciao, ciao.
Adios.